Ready, set, go, 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 go.
I said I'm with the soul trap. I said I'm with the soul trap. It's a bit. Hey.
Hey. Hello, Soul Family. We are Soul Tribe. I'm your host, Louie Love.
I'm Celine.
I'm Benji.
And you are now tuning live with
Tribe. Say it one soul at a time.
Streaming live on Argonaut Media Network. Make sure that you following, subscribe, liking. You here? Let's get it. Okay. So, you all have seen the title for today's episode, New Reality, Making Comfortability in the Uncomfortable. What that title ring a bell with y'all today? What's that title make y'all think of y'all here? Need everybody know
Alright, New Reality. When I think about the title, when I seen the title, immediately I think about my journey of uncomfortability up until this point, being uncomfortable, which got me comfortable in my skin. And I think about how this is my new reality. I think about recent conversations I've had with people from my past life, people who necessarily don't vibrate on the same frequency as me, but they understand me though. So, just that's what it made me think about. It made me it made me think about that for me. That's what made me think about everything up until this point.
Rose, Tim, Diddy.
For me, it made me think about being in my own HE double hockey sticks, like being in it and then having to stay there, but then having to find a pillow and finding my own bed in there and trying to just find comfortability and be cozy in it, kind of like mastering your own HE double hockey sticks. I didn't really want to say that, but just being in it and having to be in an uncomfortable predicament, whether it's loneliness, whether it's lack of friends, lack of security within yourself, whatever it is that's uncomfortable, that's what I would consider your HE double hockey sticks. So it's finding your coziness and mastering it, having your way with it, really just having your HE double hockey sticks by a chain, by a leash, and you tugging on it whenever you want. You have control over it, making it comfortable for you. So yeah.
Nice.
New reality.
We in a different dimension. That's the only thing that came in my head, man. Just, what I'm saying, loving another life, just going towards different goals, different things. People don't understand, people get mad when they see people evolving and not understanding that you're supposed to evolve as well, whether it's going the same path or not. Because half the time, people can still get mad if they start the same spot and not think about what I'm doing wrong instead of pointing blame at the other people that's going up.
Sheesh.
That was wild.
Tell me why. You read that?
Okay, in my humble opinion.
Man, come say what's up to the camera,
Okay. I'm over here.
You too, man.
Peace and blessings, you know what I'm saying? It's Tim with a Y, not with an I, you know what I'm saying? If you do better, you do better. Don't meet us here, beat us here. All right, so here. In my respective opinion, a new reality is a balance between knowing I was right all along and accepting people's place in my life, in my transition. So it's not saying that I'm right and I knew it and I can't wait to tell people nah, it's just living in what I believed wholeheartedly, unapologetically the whole time, and not going for anything less than I do believe, and shaping my reality around my beliefs. around, knowing that I'm worth more than what I might be going through at a certain moment and elevating outside of that. So then when I arrive to this new reality and the things are manifesting the way they're supposed to be, people who doubted me are going to bust that U-turn and come back and be like, yo, you were right in some way. They don't even have to say it. Like, like their energy is going to explain itself. So I'm just in a place of being appreciative of how far we have come, knowing that we have much farther to go, and, just being present, living,
Uncomfortability with comfort.
Straight up.
Like it. Okay. I say for me, if I could kind of box all y'all responses in one, yeah, I would say that. But in my own way, for sure. For one, new reality. I actually made a song called New Reality, produced by Tim too. Shouts out to Tim, okay.
Straight up.
And it was straight freestyle, for real. But the feeling that I was getting from it is like, this is a new frequency, this is a new time. You have now elevated from the last level that you was at. So all those things that you would consistently do at that level, you can't do that. I'm not saying you can't do it no more, but it's on a more intensified level now, and it's different. So like, there's certain conversations, there's certain people, there's certain things that I possibly used to be around before or used to do, and it's like now it's like I have no interest in it at all. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the new reality. That's respecting it. It's been a minute taking to get here, and there's still way more to go. But I ain't throwing that under the rug. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate this space wholeheartedly. Comfortability and the uncomfortable, for a fact, it's just making sure that I'm always good in here, even if being okay if people on the outside is uncomfortable. I don't have to put myself in that position just to feel it with you. I used to feel like I used to have to do that, and that's growing up in my really how I grew up, my family, my personal household, and stuff like that. That's another story. But I used to feel like I needed to feel these different things with other people because I'm either around or I just care so much. But I don't have to feel that.
Yeah.
You feel me? I don't.
Crazy.
I was like, bro, I'm done. I am done doing it. You feel
That's
me?
a toxic way
I'm
of
cool.
being in a
Just
relationship.
because you're not cool don't mean I'm cool. You feel me? But I wish you the best, and I can talk with you about it during my own time. You know?
Yeah, bro.
Real, bro. I'm good, dog.
That's a
I'm
form
good.
of trauma bonding. Trying to like understand people in their level. And you come down and you walk down the stairs like 3 notches just to understand and be related rather than taking where you at.
Hurt me even more. Like, I'm
Yeah.
Okay.
That's real.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, it's cool. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. All y'all responses, everybody's responses is similarly yet different. It all corresponds.
Everybody got their own personal way of how that for them, which is cool. But I feel like we on this journey together too. My bad, man.
Yeah, no, you good. It fits the collective objective. You know what I'm saying? We all subjective, and then we come together and be the objective. So it's like, yeah, that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like how you just line that shit up, bro. That's not how you just line. My bad, y'all. How you just lined it up? You know what I'm saying? Like that's exactly what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody said something different, but it was similar.
Yeah.
And it was, you know what I'm saying? It just pieced the puzzle. So yeah,
I appreciate it.
no problem, bro.
Everybody.
Yeah, no, for real. Everybody trying to do the same thing. Look, okay, but we do want to give y'all a little bit of breakdown about the week, though. Now, look, y'all. Yesterday we had an amazing, beautiful opportunity, grateful opportunity. Shouts out to our Black Media Network. No,
Shouts out to old man behind the camera.
Shout out, man. Major opportunity. And also, shouts out to the Deep program. Please, shouts out to the Deep program. Y'all are amazing. Yesterday we had the opportunity. No, facts.
Yeah.
Shouts to the Clubhouse too. Yesterday, me, Libby, and Celine, we had the opportunity to be able to host a workshop for podcasting for the students that was present in that program. Y'all, this was an extreme learning experience, for real. And it's gonna tie in with the different segments that we got. Before we go deep, though, I want to know, like, what was y'all overall experience from dealing with that? I know that was the first time that I've ever been in something to that magnitude. I may have done something similar on a lower scale, but this is the first time I've done something like that. So I do want to like kind of peer on y'all heads, like how did y'all feel about that before we speak to the audience.
Okay, go ahead. Come on, lady.
For me, it was interesting. Like, even though like I was like the only woman in the room, it was like a whole bunch of dudes, but it was like cool because like they're still young people, like, and then we're in the same age bracket. Like, I'm 19, so it's like it was 16, what was it, 15 and 17?
Yeah.
15%.
So it's okay, 15 through 17. So it was like cool to just like be able to like use my personality to be able to make things lighter and like make it more like lighter for them and make it more relatable, because I'm still in the same age bracket. I still can relate in my own way. So it was like cool to like see that they're in high school, like they basically doing the same thing that I did when I was in high school in their own way. But it's like it was like I had like, for me it was just like cool to just be there and just embrace them really for who they are wholeheartedly, embrace them for who they are. And duality is cool. Like, duality is okay. Even if you're not like me and I'm not like you, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means that we're different, and unique is it's okay. So like it was just cool for me to just be able to be there like with them and just exist and talk about podcasting and tell them in a more relatable and universal way. It's not just you sitting down talking in front of a phone or talking in front of a mic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have the freedom, the expression, you have the freedom to speak. And a lot of the teens nowadays, they don't really have that freedom to really speak in their own way. So it's like cool to like be able to go to Deep, which is like a gateway for kids to speak. And I was a part of Deep myself. So it was cool to like see that, and they be a part of Deep and they have the freedom of expression. And then I'm actually talking to them about podcasting, and I'm enhancing it, making it more relatable and more real to them about freedom of expression through podcasts, through radio. So it was like cool. It was really cool for me. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah. No cap. I definitely enjoyed it. It was a new experience for me. I was grateful for it. Real for real. I enjoyed it. Shouts out to y'all too, man. And we got y'all information. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all is watching this, shouts out to y'all.
All right.
For real.
Like,
Art, you feel me?
Like,
Terrence, all of y'all, bro. Y'all
Corey.
you, yeah, bro. No cap, man.
Corey, cool.
Something else, But nah, it was man, it was dope, man. Really, what it is, man. If I'm being honest, bro, everybody's got to get out of their head. Man, some people they're not gonna be overly comfortable with you the first go around. I was like that. I seen a little version of me. If I'm being honest, every one of them. Like, I don't know you. I don't know who y'all are. So I'm not gonna just the first time I meet you give you all of me. I don't even know if you can handle all of me. I gotta see what part of me you can handle, so then all right, when you come back around, I can show them this version of me. You know what I'm saying? Now, some of them was open to doing that because they've experienced some type of friend they can show that version of themselves, which is cool and dope. You know what I'm saying? But really just getting a chance to experience that part. And if I'm being honest, I am so grateful that the older generation is being so open and to opening doors for us. Because there was a point in time, no, you haven't mastered this profession in 30 years, so you can't do this. You know, you got to have certain levels of degrees, certain things in order to even step in some of these rooms. They're being more open now, you know what I mean? And really taking it in. So I'm grateful and appreciative for that. And best believe we won't let none of y'all down.
That is right, for real.
That was
Facts. Like both y'all said, you know what I'm saying? Like how you say you were just able to just kick it, just be, and not just be. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. I felt the same way. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna cap. I definitely commend our elders and our people for just being patient with the youth, because I ain't gonna cap. You know what I'm saying? Me being me, I'm just sitting here just, listening and just being present and contributing what I can. And it's like, I can see how you can run. I can see why everybody is going so hard about grabbing the youth right now. Because it's a battle. It's really a battle. Like things, I feel like the teenagers nowadays is way different from even the teenagers when we was teens. You know what I'm saying? They way different. I feel like they going through the same things we went through, but it's way more intense. It's way more intense. Right. I feel like they not, and I also feel like with the way how things are set up in society, they not prepared. It's like they experiencing an adult life at a real young age. They taking on an adult mindset. just a lot of different things. So I can see how kids can, like you say, not want to be open and comfortable when we like, you know, when adults come around, they're just older people they just don't know come around. So it's harder for them to be themselves. So, you know, I completely understand that and have empathy for them. And I ain't gonna cap. I think we're about to go on break. So when we come back, I'm gonna get into what I got. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love that time and then
that was perfect. So you already know we finna hit y'all right back with
Traveling.
Yo, it's back with Traveling. You already know who that was for the business commercial. We had to double back one time, spin the block one. I was playing. But you feel me? Shouts out to the tribe. You know what I'm saying? Mental shop. Yo, we got everything that you may need. You know what I mean? On there. You feel me? Where you need love, healing, merch, comfortable clothing, comfortable music, or just some advice. We got you right there. Feel me?
Yeah.
Back into this topic, man. Salim, I believe you was on your last part, bro. Before we go on to the next one, what was your overall perspective of the experience yesterday?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Earlier, I did some research and I looked up the juvenile recidivism rate in Savannah. So from 2015, it was 45%. So that's basically like the amount, like, you know, the rate of juveniles like coming in, like, you know, teenagers going to jail. And then 2016 it was 32%, and then 2017 it was 34%, 2018 it was 29%, and in 2019 it was 34%. So when I was like, okay, that's not bad, you know what I'm saying? Especially I remember how it was being a teenager in my age bracket and all the stuff I'm like, okay, that's cool, you know what I'm saying? That's not bad. But I put teens from my generation period were living in adult life at a teen age, would cause them to develop an adult perspective and mindset about life and how to live. From the crime rate, teen pregnancy, conflict, and separation in the home. A lot of teens were pushed in the real world, quote unquote, the real world at a young age, which caused them to develop survival skills. And we talked about surviving earlier. And where most people in society thrive, and most people thrive in surviving. And in surviving, not living, not learning, not thriving, but surviving. The mindset keeps you in an animalistic state, which disconnects you from God, the source, the divinity inside of each human who happens to be a spiritual being living a human experience. So being in that survival mode, it keeps you in hell. We just were talking about that. You know, most people in society live in a hell. They live in the root chakra, the red, the lower state, and then you have the sacral chakra, and then it goes up to the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the mind's eye, then the crown. But it's like the levels. It's the seven levels. And like that root chakra, that survival mode, when you live in that lower animalistic nature, we're more connected to our flesh, our outside more than we is our inside. We don't know what our inside is. So it's harder for us to feel. So that puts us in the mode of receiving everything. So society wants us to receive everything so they can push everything on us. And I feel like with the teenagers now, are bearing what their parents are feeling. And I feel like the parents are thinking what their teenagers are feeling. Like the parents are thinking like teenagers, and the teenagers are bearing the parents' energy because they haven't healed, they haven't fully found themselves, they haven't fully developed themselves. So now they have a family, now they have kids, now they have to live in the real world. So they have to still go on. They haven't done anything. So now it's reflecting in the household. It's reflecting out here. So now the teenagers, they just bearing everything. They just taking everything in. They sucking everything in. And like one thing that my love was talking about was like she feel like teenagers now, and don't take it the wrong way, but she feel like teenagers now, like a lot of
I
their
feel like a lot
souls
of those
are
came back as like slaves.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
They have a lack
I really
of
feel that way.
they have a lack of motivation, a lack of life, like a lack of enthusiasm, lack of energy.
Yeah,
it's like it's stuck. It's stuck. It's because of the phones. It's because of social media. Nobody not outside. Nobody not feeling, touching. Nobody not connecting. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a real deal stuck. Like we got more energy. You see how I'm moving. You see how we moving. You know what I'm saying? We adults. You know what I'm saying? But we still connected to our inner child. And so it's like with them, they cool. And that's one thing that I did notice. So it definitely put me in that mindset of like, okay, I completely understand why they're going so hard about you, because they haven't fully chosen the side. And right now it's like it's just going down. It's coming down. But you know, we here. That's what we here for. That's what we here for. But you know, that's just my observation from all that.
Shouts out to what he just said in real from that. No more survival mode.
Yeah.
No more survival mode.
Living.
You're only thinking for yourself.
Yeah.
When you're on survival mode, you're only thinking for self. And somebody who only moves out of self. You guys say,
yeah. Nah, for real, you right, bro. So all right, so it's crazy that you mentioned that, because I was watching a video on YouTube University. It's the best, I swear. So it was a video that said basically the parents do cause more trauma to the child than can even be assessed. That said, basically, like it was basically saying, when you meet somebody, you meet all the trauma that comes with them, that they've ever experienced. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that trauma comes from the household, from where they came from, whether the father was there and the mother was taking on that helm and had to give her all, you know what I'm saying? They felt their mother's trauma for real, and they walking with that, and that's how they see women sometimes. That's how we, you know what I'm saying? That's with us black men. That's how, because of our mom's trauma and the thing, we feel like every woman is like that. Even with the nagging and stuff, but even still saying there's an underlying thing that's really the problem that needed to be healed. You feel me? And it's not like the child can heal that for them, but because they've experienced that so much, that's what they interact with. That's how their mind works now. They've been molded that way. So it's like, along with everybody else's trauma, just being able to step outside yourself, feeling even as a parent, you know what I'm saying? Me and my mom was having a conversation, and she was opening up to me, letting me know that there was some times that I told her some things that she needed to hear. And at the time, because I was her little boy or whatever, she wasn't trying to hear it. And that made me whoopie wop, you know? And so now when I come off, sometimes when I speak now, I speak with fire. I speak with, you know what I'm saying? And that can come off abrasive to some people, but it's not that I'm disrespecting, it's just the passion behind it. My mom was like that, you know, she meant what she said, but at the same time, like being able to know that and weave through that, and you know what I'm saying, and be able to adapt throughout your trauma and stuff. That's
real good therapy talk, bro. Real good therapy talk.
It was cool that it was really cool that you said that, because that reminded me of womb intelligence. It reminded me of womb intelligence. Men have one womb, women have two. The men womb is basically up here. So they basically can create and birth everything. I was watching a video about that.
That you
like
hit
women, so like basically our parents, all of our parents that like have trauma and stuff like that, and they create us in a traumatic time, all that trauma comes into us and in our DNA. So whatever trauma we have to deal with in our time era is double.
That plus, double. Yeah.
Yeah. Now understand. No blaming going on at all.
We just get to the source of the problem.
Get to the source of accountability, and that's all it is. Because we when you got all that pressure that's on you from stuff that you should have been on, you know what I'm saying? It hit a little different.
And I need this to be said for the record one time. All of this is really stemming from the system that traumatized us all in the beginning.
Boom. Now before we go too deep, I'm gonna go and hit y'all with something that y'all better make sure that y'all just throwing dust for. If you talking,
Okay, that's such a cool song. Thank you, baby. So okay, my topic that I have the book that I've been reading for the past couple of days. My love gave it to me. It's called "One Day My Soul Just Opened Up" by Anna Van Zant. And for me, I found a quote that she basically said, "Fear is a tool of the ego." And early in the episodes, I was talking a lot about the ego being a celestial being that believes it's bigger than life. So because it believes that's bigger than life, and I broke it down that, okay, if the ego is a spirit and spirits are put inside humans, humans will believe that they're bigger than life, although they live on this plane. So the tool of the ego, basically, the ego uses a tool, the ego uses fear as a tool, basically, to stop you from hurting yourself in this realm, even if it's not pain. But it's the fear of like, okay, this is out of your control. The ego, when the ego feels like it's out of control and it doesn't have control over your life, your circumstances, the situation, whatever it is, the ego will basically use fear as a tool to stop you from actually being willing to handle something or deal with something. So basically, for example, okay, like if I'm a very communicative, a very just like, if I'm a very talkative person, but at the same time I can be very just antisocial, my ego will make me feel like, oh, like you are this, you are, you know what I'm saying, you speak a lot, you communicate, but at the same time I feel like you're doing too much, so I don't think you should speak. So the ego will basically use fear as a tool to stop you from actually being who you are, rather than being who you actually are. And when you're not being actually who you are, that creates another ego. And then you have another ego, and then you have more to clean up. So it's like, when you're not being yourself and you're using fear as a tool of stopping you from being who you wholeheartedly are, basically what's going to happen is you're going to just create more and more egos, more and more egos. So like, you know, like
more and more
pushing yourself, and really pushing yourself to really be your best self too, and not listening to fears, because fears is just like the resistance of not being willing to do something. So when you're not willing to do something, your ego is basically saying like, oh, nah, that I can't do that. It's out of my league. It's out of my control. So I don't want to do that. So it's like, you know, like, yeah, that was cool that it's really registered me. Like fear is a tool of ego, because I am a very, like I said, I'm a very antsy person. So for me, I'm being a life path number 7 for one, and learning the same lessons over and over and over again, and having to analyze them a different way each time, it could cause me to develop a sense of antsiness, fear, making me reflect back on how I did things in the past, how I'm doing things now, and it'll confuse me and make me think like, was I being real? Was I being this? Da 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 da. But I was just being myself rather than just accepting who I was in that time. So like for me, it's like letting go of fear and just being yourself without the chatter of your ego. And how you do that? Basically just affirming that you don't use fear as an ego. Don't use fear for your ego. Just really just saying the opposite. So instead of being fearful, you be fearless. So yeah.
Okay. Take fear out your vocabulary.
Yeah.
For real. Fear stops you. No cap. So to keep that going, hey, I ain't gonna cap. There was something that y'all was really speaking on that I feel like we should go a little bit more in depth on, about how in depth it is, but that's survival mode, because I feel like we're in a time right now where we're seeing the effects of that, even in people around our age group and even younger than us. So to just kind of get in that. So how was it really kind of like breaking it down of what is going on around you and inside you before you even knew? Because it's one thing to know, but it's another thing to like, all right, this is this now, and this is this. And now it's like, all right, I'm aware of this being this and this now, so I know how to move better in this round to get to that next one. You feel me? So let's go to the real deal root of it. How did you start sectioning this stuff out?
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So okay. Are you basically okay? Can you just rewind and make it more simple?
Okay. How did you start to be aware of all these different things before you were aware of all these different things going
Okay.
on with you?
Well, for me, like, I noticed these things as a kid. Like, I gotta say at least 5 when I first went to foster care. And I'm 19 now, so it's like, kind of imagine like how, like, what it's like to be a 5-year-old. But for me, like, being able to separate these things and actually bring them to the surface now, it took a long time because I thought it was just like kind of like who I was. Like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just an antsy spirit. Like, you know what I'm saying? My grandma, she ended up telling me something. She told me as a kid, like, I used to be afraid of people. Like, when they came to me going to grocery stores, family events, family reunions, when people would want to just come up and, oh my gosh, she said I literally like, just like panic, like just break down and panic and scream. And like, for me, it was like, when I thought about that and I thought about just being in that space, it kind of like made me think about how like antsy I really am. But instead of running from my antsiness, embracing it and not being so fearful. So for me, I have a pattern of when I'm like progressing in my mind psychologically and I'm organizing paperwork. It's always like something in my outside world that makes me fearful. Like, for example, if I'm thinking of like, okay, today is a great day or something like that, and I go outside and I see something that just makes me uncomfortable or it makes me afraid, it literally manifested itself because I was thinking about it, but I wasn't thinking about it. So like actually clearing my mind out, because like I'm learning how to clear my mind out in the best way that I can. I still have moments where like a lot of my like subconscious thoughts and stuff like that manifest itself, and I know that I'm accountable for that. I put myself in like fearful situations because I'm subconsciously manifesting them, even if I am telling the universe that I am fearless. But if I'm subconsciously under there talking and I'm like, oh, but I'm scared right now, if they can feel that, it's going to manifest itself anyway. So it's like kind of like being willing to just like be fearless and not be so attached to those thoughts. And for me, I'm a thinker. I'm always in my head. Like, I at least spend 80% in there out of my day. And I spend other 20% communicating and talking and stuff, and I value it. But being in there too much can like create a reality that's not real. So for me, like, I'm learning, like, for me in just my life, like, I have to be present in my own unique way. It doesn't have to be idea of what does it feel like to be present. So like being able to just differentiate those thoughts, and the more present I am, the more those quiet chattering thoughts, they become quiet. They don't exist anymore because I'm present. I'm not living in there. I'm the observer of my thoughts. I'm not in my thoughts. So like standing above like my mind, if that means standing above my physical and being outside of my physical and standing my celestial self outside of myself, then then that works for me. But yeah, like just standing above those thoughts, not being in them.
It's hard.
Okay.
I say the people, the emotions and knowledge and all that type of stuff is universal, so we all can relate to it for sure. But I say, like, as far as for my family background, people who will be relatable to this, I got 5 brothers. I'm the youngest of 5 brothers.
Wow.
We grew up in low income environments and so forth like that at different times. We also had a couple of good times as well. But if you know the noodles, staying in the hotels, sleeping in the cars type of life, then you know what I'm saying, your brothers being in that real deal, and you got friends that's in that real deal, sometimes you get involved in the real deal. You know what I'm talking about. As far as me, sometimes you just gotta listen. Sometimes you just gotta sit back and listen to the people that's around you, see how they function and how they move, and then you just make your moves based off of that. Because once you listen to the people who's around you at that specific time in your life, you are just able to get a better idea of where you're at and how you're perceiving stuff at that moment. You feel me? So to just make that a little bit more simpler, just take a little bit more time to just think before you do something, but don't stay in your head. You know what I mean? So just take a little bit more time and just like be with you before you get somebody else to be with you. Then in that moment, you start to build a relationship with yourself, and now y'all discuss things before you go to these other things to discuss, because that's when you start getting clouded, because you can be thinking somebody else's thoughts. without you knowing.
Mhm.
And I don't want to say too many big words and you start losing the focus, but just to keep it above, just start having a brief conversation with yourself before you do anything. Before you get up and get out, affirm the day. Do the day to the biggest of your possibility, your capability. Just do that and have a big way you can think. And then you move from there. But that way you affirmed it for you first. Before you listen to any motivational video, affirmation video, you look at something else powerful video, be that voice for you. Then you, and I'm telling you, you'll start getting answers and start having more confidence in your choices and all that as time goes. It ain't gonna switch the first day you do it.
Yeah.
Keep it up for some months and see how you go. And then keep it up more longer after that. Then we don't expect to see things in a day or 2 days. You know? So that's just from my personal experience. That is what I would say.
Word. That on the head, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. All right. All right, I'm about to finish reading what I had to notes on. It correlates with what both of y'all said. Yes. Okay. All right. So, okay, like I was saying, the mindset of surviving keeps you in an animalistic state, which disconnects you from God, the source, and the divinity inside of each human, who happens to be a spiritual being living a human experience. We are souls and spirits first. This is what gives us life, a breath of fresh air. Depression is more common and trends. It's a trend nowadays. Anxiety, fear, and worry, which all stem from the lifestyle of survival mode, the root, the beginning of life. Teens feel how their parents feel. They bear what they feel, and parents think how the teens feel. All because the parent doesn't know themselves, hasn't healed from any inner obstacles, circumstances, and trauma. While the child bears all the energy and the trauma that's reflected in the home. In the home through typical and statistics, separation of the family, single parenthood, lack of nature, lack of God, lack of trust, lack of faith, lack of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of life and what it actually is. What does it mean to them? What is the purpose? If the child sees motivation, then they will be motivated. If the child sees hatred, then they will be hatred. Our environment, which is inside, viro means I, man, meant, meaningful, certain, their environment. So your environment, you know what I'm saying? Like what you see, you know what I'm saying? A product of your environment, you know what I'm saying? It's like they got them, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's so dope. I'm so dope. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like it's simple, you know what I'm saying? It's simple, but it's no, it's deeper, it's more. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You will be what's on the inside. Your outside is a reflection of your inside. From every angle, your home, your job, your career, legacy is all within, then out. Society flipped the narrative to the outside in, which puts everyone in a receptive state, often to receive whatever is given you up, right? Whatever is given by them the outside, given to them by the outside. No inner perception, no inner guidance, no inner knowing, no inner decisions. So nothing is not actually stemming from you. It's stemming from everybody else but you. And it goes back to what bro just was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm somebody, like we all are intelligent individuals. We all seek knowledge. We all take in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We constantly do it. So it's like still knowing, not losing ourselves in the midst of that, not losing our core, our having that deep understanding with who you is for real, where you can be so deep inside of yourself, you can be connected and be one with everybody else. So that I feel that's the key. And I feel what you going back to your just original question though, just about how was we able to identify it and be aware of it. Like I said, I'm thank God that I was always presented. I was always put in position to learn something before I actually needed to use it, even when I didn't know what I was learning. So my whole life it always been like that. So I'm thankful that that's how I was able to already be prepared for things and be prepared for what I was taking in when it was time to take it in. Going back to what you said about just being simply aware. How do we know before we knew? How do we know? And that's for me, it was just something that was just given to me by God. It was just something that it was really, I feel for me, especially as a Leo, what I feel with me is I really took a lot of my weaknesses and strengthened them. I ain't gonna cap. These are things that I consciously did when I was 2017. Like I knew a lot of my weaknesses. I learned I was somebody that compared myself to a lot of things and people. So it made me mold myself better. And now I don't compare myself, but it made me just mold myself like, okay, I like how this person did this. I want to be like that person when it comes to that. I want to be like this person when it comes to that. I want to be like this person when it comes to that. So having that mindset, it helped me put everything in place.
Put your parts together for yourself.
So yeah, like that's what it was for me.
Before we get a little bit deeper, man, we're gonna go and hit y'all with that second commercial segment. Hey, if you are watching right now, please send some stars for the kids. Make sure that you following Soul Tribe on all social media platforms. Like, yo, we are running businesses too. Straight up. Like, for real. We all have businesses that we're running. Let's work together. You know what I'm saying? Let's work together. We got clothing design, mixing, video. Like, come on. We just want to teach you. But let's go and get straight up. Yo, what is going on, man? It's your dog 2 Benji. That's number 2 BNJII. And it's the artist tip of the day. You know what I mean? So for today's artist tip of the day, you need all creators, man. Go ahead and grab your mental pen, grab your mental notepad, because you don't need no physical for this at this moment. Let's do it. So I have one quote for you all, okay? Being okay with wearing different hats. Now look, this is something I struggled with a little bit before I actually had to gain comfortability with it. Now, at first, I used to be that person like, look, this is what I do. So I want everybody to only know me for this. Like, even if I may have a little bit of skill in this over here, or a little bit of skill in this over here, and this may be something that bring me this part of what I really want. But I'm only looking at this to bring me all of that. That was, for one, that was limiting me. That was limiting my perspective. And not only was that doing that, that was basically discrediting the fact that I'm multi-talented, multifaceted. So I'm only saying this to say, don't box yourself into one hat. It's cool to make sure that you specialize in something. Everybody got to specialize in something to build onto that other thing. But shouts out to EYL, because it was a part in this video I was watching. Like, you don't have to have 8 to 10 different things in order to make one blow. You can have this one thing you're good at and then stretch it out in different ways. You know what I'm saying? So being an artist, you are a creative. And not even just artist. In any realm that you're in, you have different skill sets that can apply to any different field. So I'm saying this to say, don't be afraid to dabble in different things while still honing in on this specialty, because it really widens your perspective. You know, I came in as an artist, but my own mind, have I been doing so many different things that's also building me in a whole. So now when I'm looking at things, I see it from so many different perspectives now, and not just one. And that it makes you more valuable in the room. It makes you more. It strengthens you in all realms. So I'm only saying that to give advice to all creatives, all artists, whatever that you do. Don't be afraid to utilize your other skill sets that you are in. And if you haven't tried it, try it. Try it. Because this skill set right here may be what's going to bring you what you really want this to bring you. But if you go ahead and go crazy on this, then you will have time to fully do this. You know what I'm saying? So it's just making sure that you're comfortable wearing different hats. Be comfortable with it. Put the pride to the side and just make it work. Straight up.
I have a question. I have a question for everybody. Yeah. Okay. All right. One, that's dope too, bro. How do you balance that? How do you balance that? One, and two, like you said you came in as an artist. Now you're multifaceted. You know what I'm saying? You're a radio show host. You do everything. All right. So how do you balance it? One, and two, do you what's the pros and cons of being the jack of all trades, and do you miss just being an artist?
Perfect question.
So
I tell you one experience I had that made me go and have that perspective. So originally I was coming in as artistry, but I would be seeing it would be different things that I would just want to make happen, but I couldn't make it happen because I didn't either understand the language, and people would be taking advantage of me in my face. And I would be knowing they're taking advantage of me, but the fact I'm not aware of what they're doing, I can't say nothing. So it got to a point, and I'm a creative person, bro. I'm stand on that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been a creative person since a child. Like I'm talking about doing things and somebody who going crazy in this field. You might not ever know. They've been watching you the whole time, just taking notes.
Yeah.
You know, but it got to a point when it's like it literally kept happening in my face. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna keep going for that. So it's like, all right, let me go ahead and diversify. Let me not just be somebody who just coming up to somebody saying I rap. Because I see what goes down when that happens. You feel me? Not saying that for everybody else, but personally, just for me, the stage I was in, like I needed respect on my craft, and not to think that I don't know what I know. Especially when you're trying to get in the door, they don't let us in the door. You feel me? I'm not gonna cap. They don't let us in the door unless they know you bringing something, or you know what I'm saying, you're just different out the crowd. So I took my routes and getting into radio. This one really happened. I got a voice, so I started to look at it like me being an artist and rapping. I don't have to just utilize it for music. Like you have a creativity and communicative in any way or shape or form. Like you communicate, so you can express in any way, whether that be on a microphone, at a stage, or just talking to somebody. You're a real good talker. So I got in the radio, and there was an owner route. You feel me? Shouts out to the Alchemist. It was an owner route. Because that's when I had met Donnie J.
Hey, Donnie J, you the one.
We met in a it was a group, and we was just showing each other. We was dang, I don't know what that stuff is called. I think orientation or something like that. But we just went ahead and shouts out Shazam. She the one who partnered us together.
Damn.
Yes, she's crazy. It's all like that.
Legend.
We got in there, we started going crazy. I'm talking about just going crazy. Mind you, I'm still doing music at this time, but I'm like, all right, now I can play my music, but play my partner's music too. And it's not just trying to like get heard or get seen. It's bigger than that. I don't want to it's easy to be seen, but can you get seen with other people? And I always would hear people complaining about, yo, bro, I ain't got nothing, I can't do that. I'm like, all right, well, we got everything we need right now. Let's go ahead and make a shake. So went crazy in that. And I'm coming across an individual, I'm not going to say his name, but we done business together. You know, I brought some people down from another city, straight Savannah to the school.
Straight up, you did.
And we had an experience. Now, from that experience, this person told me, man, you are a very great radio personality, bro. But the artist, I don't, bro, there ain't no money in it. But you do real good radio, bro. But there ain't no money in the artistry, bro. So let me know what you're trying to do.
Man, he the one, man. He tried to tell him he's not the one.
Man,
Yeah, man.
He tried to tell him that,
bro.
Mind
Come
you,
on,
this is
bro.
somebody, this is before I even like, this is somebody who's on a label, a real label. This is before I even know the behind the scenes of the label. So I'm like, this is somebody who I thought would be able to get me in the door and get my partners through the door.
Yeah.
We ain't got to worry no more. I'm in college. I always knew, like, bro, before I graduate, you feel me, we're going to blow.
Yeah,
I'm thinking this is the moment. You feel me? And the man tell me, disregard the reason why you're doing all of this, bro, because this is it. And I was like, okay, bro, I'm walking back to my room. I'm like, the nerve of this guy. The nerve, the audacity. The audacity. I'll be damned. You know what I'm saying? And I say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to utilize that to strengthen my value. And I'm going to keep doing music even harder. You feel me? That's when I started going crazy. That's when I started going crazy. I tried to stop it.
He tried.
So I just started looking at everything like that, man. I can add this on my value, make it in-house, and then I keep doing what I'm doing.
Boom.
You feel me? I keep doing what I'm doing. And people start to respect you, bro. And the vocabulary changes different too. It's like when you start getting deep into your science, I know it's a little long, my bad. When you get a little deep into your stuff, like you start to be able to hear the way how people look at you based off of the words they say. But once you get a certain level of understanding, you're not gonna react to that all the time. I just take it for what it is and keep pushing. You feel me? So that's what really got it, man. Somebody tried to stop me from saying I was stop me from doing what I'm doing all this for.
Right.
Now it's like, bro, you
You
tripping?
wouldn't even got, you wouldn't even got
Come
there if you
on.
wasn't doing that.
Exactly.
Really?
And if I
You
look
want
at
that
his
problem?
stuff, the man didn't make it.
Nope.
So I'm like, the people who don't make it try to stop people who's about to make it
Yeah.
because they see you about to make it. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Yeah.
For real now.
Trying to tour you.
For real. Even if they ain't made that certain level, they may be somebody who just watch what people saying to you, watch how they saying it.
Yeah.
There's always pros and cons to it. The pros, you got a deeper lens and you are able to get in different rooms and offer those opportunities to other people and still be you. You feel me? The cons of it, I say the cons of it is having to come across people who ain't did it. You feel me? And then it's a certain level of understanding that they have to experience in their own route. You can't change people's timelines. The only way they're gonna be able to see it is if they go take a little dive. Right?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Right.
So you gotta just maintain your integrity. You know. That was a great question. I appreciate it.
That one. Wow. I don't even know if I want to follow that one up. Like that was a good one, bro.
I appreciate it.
That was
I didn't even
really
feel like
good.
I was just talking just random cap.
Yeah, bro. Because I'm not gonna lie, with your answer, you covered a lot of ground with that. So like, I was gonna add. I have something to add, but yeah, man, you did your thing on that. So like for real, around that.
All right. Questions? We got the two people in the background, Mr. Tim and Mr. DJ Richard. Okay. All right. One, how like basically, bro, what bro was talking about, basically stretching out your skill set. Mm-hmm. So, for example, you DJ.
Yeah.
So I asked, how do you balance out being more than just a DJ, and also when you do be more than a DJ, do you miss just being a DJ? And what is the pros and cons of balancing out, having to balance out those scales? What's the pros and cons of that? And two, bro, if you want to get in the camera,
The answer to that, like, I don't mind being a DJ, but at the same time, like, learning other stuff, like, whether it be like doing some camera work or learn how to do like production wise, like produce music, making music, whatever. Like, it's like you got to still take your time with it because you're still a student. But if you're a person that you're real interested and you feel like you got it, then take it. Don't stop yourself. Don't let other people or outsiders or anyone that's in your ear like, oh, you can't do it, or you just trying to follow the trend. No, because like everyone got a story to tell, whether it's different or not. But sometimes it's all about what the substance is that you're giving out. And me being a DJ, like, it's fun to a certain extent because like a lot of people gotta understand we are the gatekeepers for artists to go on to the next level and get your music spin. But at the same time, it's like it's so many spectrums of DJs that people don't understand that like we are categorized in. Because like DJs don't always be in, like what artists have time. Some of them be in studios, some of them be in radio shows doing different things. So it's really a lot of things that DJs carry themselves with. So it's really a lot of baggage being a DJ. So like most people here think, oh yeah, I can become a DJ. It's like I'm still learning myself. It's like, bro, I'm sitting here. You got DJ Envy, got doggone other DJ on
the radio show.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody got their own thing going on as a DJ, bro.
You don't just DJ at a club. You don't just DJ, but I see
just oh god, DJs everywhere. So it's like really like DJs can't do everything to like in the world, bro. And people like they can still go on tour, clubs, whatever, and you know what I'm saying, give out jams, the vibes, whatever. But overall, like when I do DJ, bro, like I really do just love being in that environment of just like hearing, like not even hearing the music, just like seeing people vibe along, turning up, and just like, you know what I'm saying, having fun. That's it.
Well, what's the con?
Learning the vibe, not even gonna go too deep, but like the cons of it is more so like we haven't been back in a minute and like knowing that like you kind of rusty a little bit, you gotta get back to it. Yeah. Sometimes, so it's like somewhat like practice every like time when
you gotta scope out scenes.
Yeah,
you gotta
like
go scope out
every scene where you go at gonna be a different vibe and different class of people in there. So it's really gonna be like a mixture of wherever you're gonna be with.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dig that.
What about you, Tim? I know we got 2 minutes left.
I ain't gonna take too long, so check this out. Real simple. I wanted to rap. That was my goal. I was a hooper at first, and then I fell in love with music, and I saw the catalog of music, and I'd be like, yo, I want to have my own collection. So I started to rap. How was I gonna rap? Didn't have money for studio time. What was I gonna do? Bought a mic stand and I got a laptop. All right, so we about to record ourselves. When I first started, sounded like trash. I mean, I don't want to down myself, but I'm gonna be real. Like from the bare minimum, I didn't know what I was doing. So and people are scared to go through that phase of not knowing. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing what to do. Not wanting to show people my music because I know it within myself. It don't sound as good. People telling me I don't like how music sounds in the closet, and I can't show you my music now. You know what I'm saying? At that stage. So eventually, how was I going to double up? I had to learn how to mix and master. All right, I'm in college learning how to mix and master myself. I meet my man To Benji. We go crazy on campus and we just start learning more and getting better. Eventually, it comes to the point where I can record people coming in my room, like people I can sell studio time, for real. And so from there, I will never forget that conversation that I had in class. I had class online one time, and To Benji was in the room, and I had a presentation. And the guy, like, it was my turn to talk. I'm gonna be real. I didn't really study for this presentation. For real, I didn't really study for this presentation, but I had to cram real quick, whatever. So when it was my turn, I just used my energy and my influence and just to talk and speak how I know that I can. At the end of the whole thing, everybody got their certain grades. He was just like, yo, Tim, I gotta talk to you personally. This is what I want to say. You are an amazing orator. Don't ever misconstrue your gift, or don't let nobody tell you not to use your gift. Use your gift. You are an amazing speaker. You can speak very well, so use that. Boom. Thank you. That translated into meeting this guy right here, and then we ended up learning more and speaking to people got us to sell a house. Yeah. Using everything, bro. We was able to flip a house out of all the skill sets that we was just accumulating over time. So
Speaking.
You know what I'm saying? Just from speaking, bro. For real. We did that job.
Your gift will make room for you.
For real.
It's a gift to gift other people. You allow your gifts to make the room for you. Don't force it.
Straight up.
Don't kick the door down.
Straight up.
Your gift got to do it. Got the key, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Stay down. For real.
Stay down. Hey, look, man, you already know. Please stay tuned with everything. You can find us on all social media at SOLTR1. You know what I'm saying? This Friday, what we got coming, y'all?
Freestyle Friday! Let's get it. Strictly off the dome.
birthday Sunday.
Hey, Taurus
season. No cap. It's Taurus season. I hope y'all ready. Yeah, you feel me? Come take a look at how we really seeing it for real. You feel me?
I ain't gonna cap. Everything coming to new reality.
Yeah,
big manifestations.
Freestyle Friday is gonna be tomorrow.
All right,
so on Wait Friday.
Look, man, we're gonna go and get out, man. This is the Soul Tribe
Vibes.
Let's go.